Recently, our client Tommy met his banker to discuss continuing his father's restaurant legacy. In us, he found a partner that understood the importance of passing the torch. First Horizon Bank. Let's find a way. Go to firsthorizon.com/Tommy.
This podcast is sponsored by Jabra Enhance. Getting hearing aids is no picnic. It's expensive, confusing, time-consuming, right? Actually, no. With the Jabra Enhance Select and Premium package, you can get state-of-the-art hearing aids and professional care without the hassle. Jabra Enhance offers advanced rechargeable hearing aids delivered to your door for thousands less than you'd expect. No offices, no waiting rooms. Just take the online hearing test to personalize your hearing aids. Enjoy speech clarity, noise reduction, and hearing technology that adapts to your unique sound environments. And the audiology team can provide adjustments to your hearing aids remotely on request for 3 years. And the best part? You'll likely pay thousands less than if you went to a traditional audiologist. And now, for a limited time, save $200 when you order Jabra Enhance Select Hearing Aids with promo code PODCAST. Go to JABRAenhance.com, enter promo code PODCAST to save. JabraEnhance.com, code PODCAST.
For eligible individuals 18 and older in 50 United States and Washington, D.C. with mild to moderate hearing loss only. Audiology team may not be able to program hearing aids for some types of hearing loss. See website for details and important safety information.
Handle with Care, Cancer and Beyond is a podcast that gives everyone and anyone a place to come and keep it real about their cancer experience. Welcome to Handle with Care, Cancer and Beyond.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Handle with Care, Cancer and Beyond. My name is Chris Donovan, the co-host and producer here. And today on the show, I sit down with Carrie, Lavetta Ross, and two special guests, Chris and Santana, who are fellow podcasters. In this roundtable, we sit here and we discuss the very tough topic of dating after having breast cancer. This conversation gets real and raw, and it's a little longer than our usual shows, but it's worth it. Please give it a listen. This conversation definitely needs to be heard, and if you could do me a favor, share it with a friend, leave us a rating and review. I'd appreciate it. So enjoy this episode. It's Dating After Breast Cancer here on Handle with Care, Cancer and Beyond.
Hey, Lavetta, how you doing?
Hey, Carrie. How are you? I'm good.
I'm good. Glad to have you back.
Thank you.
My unofficial co-host, my resident therapist who just got her master's. Yay!
Right.
We have some special guests with us today. Oh, you even got some applause. Nice, Chris. Nice touch. So, Chris, my co-host and producer, is here.
Hi!
In the background without a mic. He's just going to play around. We have two special guests. I will let you introduce yourself, fellow podcaster.
I'm Chris.
And Edie. Thanks for coming. So listen, these two special guests are not in breast cancer land like Lavetta and I. Lavetta is a metastatic badass who is, how do you say it? Living life to the fullest.
Living my best life.
Yeah, in spite of it all. And so on our show, we often talk about issues around relationships following a breast cancer experience. We talk about marriages, how they're either strengthened or they crumble, and all the various reasons why. But Lavetta and I are both single, and I've been single since my diagnosis because the person I was dating at the time couldn't handle it. And so the day after my mastectomy, when I came home, and he went with me to the hospital, held my hand, was the last person I saw before I went under the knife. And when I came out, he was there with my parents. And when I came home the next day, on Valentine's Day, I freaking hate Valentine's Day. He came over, trying to be supportive. However, he just was a ball of nervous energy. And so I was so doped up on great painkillers that I was really relaxed and I was okay. And so I just looked at him and I was like, okay, Mark, I'm going to need you to go home. Go get yourself together and come back because I'm okay. But your energy right now is really affecting me and I need to be peaceful, right? He said, I totally get it. I'm so sorry. I will go get it together and come back. And he never came back. And I heard from him several weeks later, probably 4 weeks later, because I had just had my first chemo treatment. And then came all the drunk texts and the drunk phone calls, and he just couldn't handle it, you know, and that's okay. And I just basically said, listen, I forgive you, but I can't deal with you right now. I'm in chemo. I can't have this conversation with you. And he would text me and text me. I was like, I can't even see straight right No, like I'm literally just fresh out of chemo. So it's been a very rocky ride for the last 10 years of, do I want to date? How do I want to date? And all the questions that come up at our Survivor Social Club at my nonprofit, a lot of them revolves around being single and how do we date again? So we wanted to get two people from the outside, if you will, of Cancerland to get your opinion. And Chris, I'm relying on you to keep it real, both Chris's, because, Chris Donovan, you can be in on this too.
I'll be ready.
Lavetta and I just want to throw out some frequently asked questions that we get. And she's a therapist, so she comes from a little different space than I do. But one of them is, say you meet somebody and you're talking on the phone, you're getting to know one another, and you decide, let's go to coffee or whatever. At what point, Chris, are you expecting a woman to let you know that she has been affected by breast cancer in some way?
I hope that she lets me know up front.
And by up front, do you
Just
mean when you first meet?
When I first meet her.
Like, do you want that on her profile online, like breast cancer survivor?
Yeah.
Why? Tell me why.
I think that's important. I think that's acknowledging the fact that she is a breast cancer survivor, first and foremost, and letting people make the decision whether or not they want to go through that, or they want to date her, or they want to be involved with that. Some men have problems with women not having breasts at all, or women who've been affected by breast cancer. Point blank. We like boobs.
Would you consider boobs to be genitalia?
That is a very, very good question.
I have a male friend who says that I don't care what you say. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. In this American society, breasts are considered genitalia.
I would agree. Breasts are genitalia.
I disagree.
I agree. From my standpoint, because I love breasts.
Okay, and that's different.
I love big breasts. I love small breasts.
But I think
the breasts.
If we're being proper about anatomy, is that truly genitalia? In my mind, I didn't look up a definition because I don't prepare. I just wing it. But genitalia to me means a part of your body that you use to procreate. Okay, breasts aren't necessary for that.
No.
So in my mind, they're not genitalia. They were created to feed children, and as a result, yes, we used to have sensation and pleasure from them, and yes, we get that they're sexualized and can tied into femininity in this society. But there are many other countries that they're not. They are seen for what they are. So this is a problem. This is a problem for us. Lavetta, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it is a problem. But my question that I wanted to ask Chris, if the lady tell you up front that she's been affected by breast cancer, she's in remission, or like me, I'm stage 4, so mine is metastatic, so I'm still in treatment for it. So if she tell you, yes, I've been affected by breast cancer or I'm metastatic, would you make your decision right then and there whether you want to date that person or not?
For me, I probably would want to know more information about her breast cancer and some of the stuff that she's been through, some of her experiences through it. I don't think it'll be an end all decision. It'd be like, no, I don't want to date you because you have breast cancer. No, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued because I know it's affected a lot of women. And equally intrigued because I know that it affected her, and that, that I've experienced that with her. And so I'm sensitive to the fact that a woman may have breast cancer. I'm sensitive to that. I'm sensitive to that fight because I watched her go through it.
A lot of people think breast cancer is a death sentence.
Right.
And a lot of men think that once they hear the lady say, I've had breast cancer, I'm still going through it, I'm still going through treatment, they think it's a death sentence. But it's actually not. The reason I say that is because anything can happen. You can go out and get hit by a car, you can be in a car accident, Those of us that are living with metastatic breast cancer, we still having fun, we're still living our lives, but we're looking for relationships as well, and those type of relationships that we're looking for are those men that are willing to go through the process, understand the process, understand what we're going through, and try to understand the treatment that we're going through as well. So I just hope that those that are listening to this podcast will really try to understand that it is not always a death sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We have a friend named Catherine who's been metastatic for
almost 20 years.
Almost 20 years.
Wow.
But so here's the thing. I did just sort of an unofficial poll of a group of males I know years ago asking the same question. Would you want to know? Would you be mad if they didn't tell you right away? And like 8 out of 10 were like, yeah, I'd be pissed. And I'm like, I'm trying to hold back judgment as I'm talking to them. And I'm like, okay, tell me why. Because I'm fascinated why people believe or think the way they do. And I said, well, okay, well, tell me why and be real. And they said, well, I don't know if I could handle it coming back. And I totally validate that. I get that with everything within me. But hear this. In the United States, 1 in 8 women will be affected by breast cancer in their lifetime. 1 in 833 men will be diagnosed in their lifetime. So let's go back to the female stats. 1 in 8. How many women have you dated?
A plethora.
Right. So
Keep it 100. A plethora.
Right. I need a drink. No.
Many.
And I was one of them.
Many.
But here's the thing: 1 in 8. So this was my response to them. I'm not arguing your feelings. Your feelings are valid, but the facts are, you're already taking a chance with 1 in 8 women that you date that she could be affected, and she's taking a chance with you that 1 in 833 men could be affected. Does that change your perspective at all?
No, it would not change my perspective at all. It's just the numbers make me aware of how prevalent it is, and that it could happen to anybody. It could happen to my sister, my aunt, my daughter, me.
It can happen to you.
Yeah, to me too. So I have to be sensitive to the fact that, this could happen to me. Be sensitive to the fact of a woman with breast cancer. And I think for me, the more I know, the more comfortable I'll feel about it. If we're in a relationship, the more I know. Now, also understanding that there's a flip side, there's a fight. There's going to be a fight. If it comes back, there's going to be a fight. And I have to be mentally prepared to walk with her through that fight. I'm not going to run and hide. I'll be there. I'll walk with you through the fight.
Mark said the same thing.
I know, but he retreated, and he shouldn't have. He shouldn't have. He should have been there, right there with you.
What would be the difference for you if the lady was already metastatic in treatment instead of not in treatment?
Once again, I would have to. The more knowledge about it, the better I would feel. The more acceptance about it that I would be. Knowledge is power. Right. So I need to know. I need to know what the full layout. I understand what metastatic means. So that means I think that means it's in your bones, right?
It has spread it to other parts of your body, right? Your
organs, yeah.
Yes.
So I have to be understanding, and then I would want to know, okay, well, what's the worst case scenario? Because I want to be prepared for that. I want to be prepared for the worst case scenario by still providing support and understanding and compassion.
Lavetta, what I've heard from you at times and other metastatic patients is that you're mainly interested in companionship.
Exactly.
We all want to be loved. We all want to have someone hold our hand and put their arm around us and feel special to that person. But it's more about companionship.
Yes, exactly. It's not about, trying to get into a relationship and, trying to get married off the bat. It's not about that. It's just being able to share my life with someone, that I'm compatible with, that love to do some of the things that I love to do. And, I love to do some of the things that he loves to do. That's what it's all about for me. I'm not trying to, jump into a marriage or anything like that, but it's all about relationship.
What I will tell you is that in my experience running the CARE project for the last almost 8 years is breast cancer survivors in general, we have a newfound love for the simple joys, the simple things. Literally floating in my pool for hours with no commitments is like a joy. You know, other people are like, oh, let's go to Maui for the week. I'm like, I'm cool. I'm going to be in my backyard. I mean, not to say I don't want to do other things, but I mean, like, I find the joy in the simple things. Lavetta will call me and say, hey, do you want to go listen to this band? They're live at this, you know, whatever, the mall. It doesn't matter.
They're live in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, well, there was that Puerto Rico trip and the cruise, you know. But but we have a new zest and appreciation for life, and we realize that we're of a certain age now where, gosh, in theory, we probably should have already done some traveling and done this and done that. But for me, I became a mom at 18. So I haven't had a lot of life experiences.
Has the sex changed? Having sex with breast cancer, has that changed for you?
So that is not a one. So what I will say, and I'm going to answer that very honestly, but let me go back it up a little bit. First of all, breast cancer doesn't affect everybody the same way.
But some people may think that way.
I know. This is why I want to talk about it. So not everybody that has breast cancer loses their breasts. My friend Heather has never had any surgery because she was diagnosed so late stage, there was no point in even taking them off, right? And now she's metastatic also. She's had brain tumors. She's had it in her lungs, but she's living life. She's traveling.
Yeah, she is.
She's doing her thing. Lavetta is living life. She just got her second master's. You know, like they live more fully than even I do. And so sex is not the change in our bodies. So for me, I'll speak for myself. So my breast cancer was estrogen fed. Okay. So chemotherapy throws you into like a faux menopause because it stops your period from coming. So you no longer have a cycle for a time. Because I was 41, I wasn't menopausal yet, but I was approaching it. And so my oncologist said, okay, look, we're not going to do a hysterectomy yet. We're not going to remove your ovaries. Let's see if it comes back. There's a good chance it can. And if you start to see any bleeding, any spotting at all, call me immediately. That happened. And so immediately I went in and had a hysterectomy. So the results of that hysterectomy showed I had the beginning stages of cancer in my uterus, the uterine lining. So it's a good choice I made, right? I say all that to say, now the side effects of having everything removed means your natural lubrication is gone. It means the tissue atrophies or it shrinks. So you're back to feeling like a virgin and you're dry, which means if you try to have intercourse, it can feel, some people have said, like a million paper cuts. So what can you do about it? There's things you can do. I had laser procedure. I forget what it's called now.
I can't think of it.
But we have a great doctor who's an OBGYN who also is a hormone specialist. And so we can't take hormones to other women as they approach menopause can take estrogen replacement and therefore, you know, get their libido back. Because we also lose our libido.
From the chemo medication.
All of it. And then if you have a hysterectomy or an oophorectomy, meaning they take your ovaries, same thing. So now you're not only dealing with, first of all, I feel sick as hell. Second of all, I'm dry. I'm shrunken up, which means it hurts. All of those things. Yeah. And then on top of that, you got to deal with someone like you who's looking at you like you don't have breasts. But here's the thing. I was able and fortunate to have these laser procedures that basically they call it vaginal rejuvenation. I think the media thinks and the general public sees that and they think, oh, they just want to be tight again. No, it's not about that. What it does is it causes the tissue to regenerate and the cells to regenerate. So you naturally get back your elasticity. You get back your natural lubrication. You get back your desire. And so, yes, you still are going to use lube because after 50, you're pretty much using lube anyway. Right. But it changes. So you can still have a very good sex life if that person isn't hung up on whatever your breast situation is.
And wouldn't that be good information for that person to know?
When the time is appropriate.
You know, if you're dating somebody, because you're going to come to that plateau somewhere along the line. You're going to come to that point.
Yeah.
And that person needs to know specifically as to, okay, well, what is it? Can you do? What is it? Can you not do?
But when do you start having conversations about sex when you first meet somebody?
It happens all the time.
Okay, well, I guess I'm out of the
It happens all the time. Look, for some people now, it happens quick.
It's up front.
It's up front. They come with you.
Up front.
This is why
Yeah.
I'm
What
single.
position you like?
Yeah.
This is why I'm single. I don't understand that. I guess I just find I don't. For me, it's about getting to know somebody, and I don't know if it's because I value my body now more
Probably.
than I did before, right? I'm just thinking this as out loud as it comes to me. Maybe it's because I actually value my body
And
more
cancer
now.
takes you in a different zone.
Totally.
You know, it takes you in a totally different zone where your body is your body, and you think about it, but when you're trying to get to know someone, you're trying to get to know who they are, you know, their mind, you know, their
soul, their
experiences,
spirit.
you know,
Right.
and if they're bringing any drama, because when you
Yeah,
go through
man.
breast cancer or
You
any
ain't
type
dealing
of
with
cancer,
no
it's
bullshit.
no drama. You know, you're not getting any drama from me because I've been through that, you know, so, and I don't plan on experiencing that from anyone else or anyone bringing that type of energy into my life. And a lot of breast cancer patients are like that because of what we have experienced. So with that being said, you just have to be up front. If you want to, you know, share that up front, you can. If you don't, you know, you just wait until the time comes.
I feel like this. I don't owe you that any off rip. Like at
Right.
some point,
Yeah.
I do. Yes. If not initially, I meet you and hey, let's go out and let's see where this goes. I'm digging you. We have this thing. Okay, now that's gonna be like, okay, we need to have this conversation soon, right? But if I'm just meeting you, you're not privy to that information. That's
Okay,
like me
then,
asking
yeah.
your medical information. And do you have erectile dysfunction? You're of a certain age. You're diabetic. Do you have problems because of your medication? Is your penis smaller than this? I'm not going to ask you
Or
that.
do you have
Are
prostate problems? You
Right.
know, things like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you obligated to tell me what your penis length is?
No. But
Then I'm not
men,
obligated
but
to tell you
men
about my
are
breasts.
different. Men are different. We are
Bullshit.
sexual as
Why do you
you
think
should
we're
know we're
not?
more sexual.
But why do you
But
think
we're more
we're
sexual
not?
than you guys are because we're predatory. Men are predatory.
So if someone asks you about your penis,
I'm like,
if
what?
someone asks you about your penis, the length of your penis,
Yeah.
that would make you feel some kind of way.
And if I'm proud of the length of my penis, I put down.
Okay. So if that makes you feel some kind of way, how do you think a woman feel when you're asking those questions about her body?
Right.
You know?
But some men, they don't care. They look at you and the first thing is, oh man, I want that. I want to hit that. And that's their focus.
Even at our age?
Even at our age,
I'm
Carrie.
disgusted.
Even at our
Really?
age.
Well, you
Come
know
on.
what? I have had guys to ask me within a week about sex.
Yeah.
I have had that question and I told them it's none of your business. I guess that turned them off.
Right.
It quickly, and I knew that guy wasn't supposed to be in my life.
Tell the truth.
You know. So yeah. I get that. Yeah, because you can get those type of questions if you're online. You can definitely get those type of questions online.
How are you feeling about
Yeah.
this?
Wow. You know what? I haven't had to go. I don't have breast cancer. I've
Right.
never had any kind of cancer scares or anything like that. But just dating in general is rough. And now at this age, it's even rougher. But those questions, just like he said, they come up, you know. And for me, this is so weird because I'm listening to what your concerns are because of your situations. And I have mine that have come up because I'm like, I've been like going through this whole realization of myself and why I am the way I am and all the triggers and all these kind of things are going on in my head. So I think to myself, like, when do I share, you know, what problems I've had? You know, not everybody wants to hear that you are a domestic violence survivor. They don't want to hear that either.
Right.
And then if they do they really care? I don't think they realize.
Or are they going to use it against you and
Right.
manipulate you?
Right.
Because I've even had people say to me, well, I just want to see. I just want to see what you look like.
Oh, that's sick.
What?
That's just sick.
I want to see your scar.
See?
Really?
That's that craziness that I'm talking about. That men in their what we think and how
I
we
want to see what it look like.
the things that we come up with.
I guess I just hold out hope that there are people out there of the opposite sex of me that still are interested in really learning and connecting on a soul level, on a spiritual level, and not just sexual.
Good
Because
luck.
when you are connected in that way, you can conquer the sexual stuff.
Right. That should flow organically.
Exactly.
Correct?
Exactly.
Yeah. But men, even men I'm in our age group, nope.
You're older.
I'm older. Yeah, in my age group, 60 plus. I mean, sure, we're still out there thinking with our little head, not our big head.
Men are visual.
We're visual.
And I already know. Listen, because I'm in the dating pool, and I already know that if I don't have a full body portrait on my page,
yep,
it's going to be requested of me because men want to see.
Oh, I get that.
Yep.
What they're working.
And I want to see their full body too. Because I'm sorry,
Yes.
I was married to a 6'8" man, so probably the shortest I'm a date is like 5'10".
Well,
that's really pushing it.
And there's that part.
Yeah.
Right. So I get that as an overall, because you're attracted to whatever. But if you're looking at me with clothing on, can you tell that I don't have nipples?
Yeah. No.
Can you tell that what is on my on my chest is my stomach that was created into breast mounds like a Barbie?
Can you tell we have actually been through breast cancer?
No.
Or I'm actually going through
Can
it
you
right
tell
now.
that Lavetta is deemed quote unquote terminal?
Yeah.
No.
Can you tell that I'm on chemo every week?
Right.
You
You
know?
especially can't tell when our asses are out in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
No.
You know, you see some of the videos like on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, the ones that regarding couples and love that get a lot of traction, if you will, are those old couples holding hands that they're probably not having sex anymore.
No.
What connects them?
OnlyFans.
You're stupid. Really, what connects them? And do you automatically think that because I've been affected physically this way, that I am like damaged goods, that I am not sexual, that I am not? Because you walked in my house and said, "Dang, Carrie, you look good."
Mm-hmm.
If you saw me on the street, would you try to talk to me?
Seriously.
I'm asking.
You know that. Sure.
Right, but
Yeah,
so would that?
I met you.
But would that? But would that change when you see these scars?
No.
Amazon Delivery Service Partners are hiring full-time delivery drivers to meet growing customer demand. Receive compensation of at least $20 per hour at select stations, plus benefits and a sign-on bonus of $1,000 from participating DSPs if you apply now. No delivery experience required. Must be 21 years or older. Terms apply. Apply today at amazon.com/driver. That's amazon.com/driver.
Recently, our client Tommy met his banker to discuss continuing his father's restaurant legacy. In us, he found a partner that understood the importance of passing the torch. First Horizon Bank. Let's find a way. Go to firsthorizon.com/Tommy.
But you just said if you saw me on a dating site and it said, because listen, here's the thing. Let me keep it real. If and when, and I haven't been on a dating site in a very long time, but when I did, if I connected with anybody, the first thing I did when I had their full name was Google their ass. I'm Googling you.
That's what we do.
That's what anybody should do. I want you to Google me. Well, guess what?
I have a story about that. Really quick. My wife did the same thing about me, and my cousin was the most wanted person in Arizona. Now keep going.
Wow.
Talk about a speed bump. Okay, you can continue.
Oh, my. And she still married you.
She did.
Wow.
And then she found out my credit score and still married me.
Oh, my gosh. But the thing is if you Google me, the first thing you're going to see is founder and president of the Care Project, Inc., a breast cancer charity, breast cancer survivor, all the shows I've been on, all the stories that have been written about me, the press, whatever. So you're going to know off rip, and you're missing out.
Are you telling them to Google you?
No.
Okay. Then
No, but people do.
if I met you on the street, I don't think I would Google you.
People do.
I don't know.
I know in the past when I was on a site and talked to somebody, they're like, "Oh yeah, I looked you up and I see that you run a nonprofit. What else do you do for a living?" I was like, "Oh, okay." So at that point, I know that they knew, and the conversation didn't go much further. I felt like it was an obligatory conversation because we never talked after that. Because that's what happens, right, Lavetta?
Right, it does.
Share your experience.
I was on a website, and me and this guy, we connected, and once I told him 3 weeks later after we met that I am metastatic breast cancer, he ghosted me.
Wow.
Didn't even have the respect to say to her, you
he
know
ghosted
what?
me.
And I don't want to speak for you, but I'll speak for myself. I don't care if it's breast cancer, if it's my ass is too flat, or if it's my gut is too big. Whatever the case is, if you're not feeling me for some type of way, be a grown-up and say, you know what? with tact, with respect. You know what? It's been really great meeting you. I just don't think we have a connection. I really wish you well.
Exactly.
I've had that experience. And the gentleman said to me, you got a lot going on. You work full time, you run a nonprofit. And he had done that. He was about 5 years older than me. And he said, I've lived that life and I know the phase you're in right now. And I really respect and admire it. But I'm past that now. And I'm really I want to spontaneously travel. And I just don't think we would be a good fit. But gosh, I wish you so much. And I was like, gosh, I really love that. Thank you so much for being honest.
What's his name?
Yeah, I don't know, but
Can I get his number?
no, because he had like 10 kids, so I wasn't trying to go out with him anyway. What's been your experience in the non-cancer affected dating world?
So those ones don't exist.
Oh,
I've gotten ghosted several times.
Yeah.
For who knows what, because I have no idea. But to be honest, I have ghosted too. But let me tell you, the one person I just remember, I don't remember everybody that if I've had to ghost him, but the one person I did was because of his personality was way over the top, arrogant. And so I knew if I were to share with him that I am not interested, I was going to be met with drama and argumentative stuff. And I am so anti any of that. I just decided it'd probably be best for me just to block and not proceed and leave it alone, because he was really into himself. And I just, I don't like arrogance. It just turns me off so bad. And, you know, I didn't realize it initially, but I think the last conversation I had with him, he was just like really being himself. And I was like, oh my God, what am I doing?
and then I see stories of couples that meet in their late 50s, late 60s, 70s, and I'm like, keep hope alive.
Yeah.
Me too.
But then at the same time, I will say that my life is incredibly fucking peaceful.
Right.
I got my own little
enjoying it.
house.
Yes.
I got my own little car. I got my own little podcast studio. I got my man cave, woman cave, whatever you want to call it. Like, I am so content in my life, but I have so much to give. So what do I do with all that? I pour myself into my nonprofit. I pour myself into trying to take better care of myself.
That's what we do.
So if you had a man in your life, it would be different?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah, I would scale back and make room for that person. Absolutely. I fill my time with my charity work because who else is going to receive all my love and attention?
Right.
Might as well be cancer patients. I have no attachments. I don't even have my dog here today. He's with a babysitter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here. Look, I'm a sports chick. I like to drive my truck. Yeah. Like, I have so much to offer. And if my breasts being made out of my abdominal tissue with the stretch marks that used to be on my abdomen from my children, you know, men say, oh, stretch marks are beautiful. Really? Are they really beautiful? Are they beautiful now that they're on my chest because they've been made into breasts? I'm destined to be alone.
Yeah. What
Cheers
do
for
we
that.
do? What do we do?
Cheers for that.
Yeah.
We drink wine.
What exactly do we do?
What do we do? What is your advice? I'm your friend. What is your advice? If I say to you, you know what, I feel like I'm really ready emotionally, physically, spiritually, let me lose 50 pounds.
No drama.
There you go.
Yeah, no drama. Like, I hold my own financially.
Yeah,
like, I don't
exactly.
need anybody to save me. All I want is someone to enjoy my life with me.
Then I think you put it out there. You put it out there as plain, as clear, as concise as you can. That this is what you want. This is what you're going through. Or this is what you've been through. You have to put it out there. You have to be able to. My thing is, and I learned this from somebody in this room, taking away people's choices. I never want to take away anybody's choices, the right to choose. So I would put it out there, 100. This is me. You like it or you don't. You want it or you don't.
And I live my life that way.
And that's the way you should continue to do that.
I live my life that way. What I struggle with is the concept that I am obligated to some fucking stranger on the internet to list that on a profile. Hey, by the way, I don't have nipples, but hey, I still have a sex drive. I mean, come on. That's my medical history. Are you disclosing your medical history?
No.
Right.
No.
And period.
But
There's a but.
There's always a but.
But I remember I met a friend who had a double mass. She was flat.
Okay.
And she's, she put that out there in her bio, in her profile, that she's flat.
That's her choice.
That's her choice. Yeah. But that's giving a man to choose. If he doesn't want a flat woman, then
but he can
moves
also
on.
see her
in
photos as flat.
As flat.
But you can't tell that what I have is not real, natural, if you will, breasts.
Okay. But then, so for me and my naivety, I'm going to put it this way.
Yeah.
The majority of women who have breast cancer, I think you mentioned that some of them don't have their breasts removed. Right. Or augmented in any shape.
They may have just a lumpectomy,
right?
Or they may just keep one.
So so as a man, I gotta be conscious and understanding to that too. That there's going to be some surgery that has happened, that has taken place. So he has to be open to that too. Yeah. He has to have an open mind to it.
I'm not arguing that at all. Let me be clear.
But
I'm not arguing that at all. What I am arguing is that needs to be your knowledge. You as a complete stranger, me just meeting you, like you're privy to that right this minute?
I would want to know.
Up front.
I would want to know.
Before you even get my phone number, you want to know.
I would want to know up front.
So let's say we met at a party. And we, the vibes are good and we're conversating, and you would want me to share that with you.
Probably not at a party, but if on a dating profile, yeah, I want to know. I want to know.
In person.
Let's say you were at a bar hanging out and you ran into this person and you guys are really vibing. You've been there for about an hour. Would you expect them to go, hey, by the way, I had breast cancer?
9 times out of 10, they probably would tell me.
That wasn't the question.
Yeah, but don't you think that they don't want to talk about it?
They probably don't want to talk about it, but I'd want to know.
My thing is, once you get a certain age, everybody has something going on.
Right.
Everybody.
Right.
Once you get a certain age, everyone, a man or a woman, has something going on with their bodies. You know, whether it's diabetes or whatever, and that causes sexual drive.
And from that point, and from that standpoint, I would want to know, because maybe I want to share my stuff.
Right. Why wouldn't you share yours up front?
Yeah, I'd share my stuff up front.
If you would meet someone, would you say, hey, I have diabetes, I'm on insulin, I have a prostate problem, right then and there.
At this point in my life, yeah. 20 years ago, no.
Yeah.
10 years ago, no. Okay. But now, I'll let you know. This is my fight.
Yeah, I think I'd want to know if you had ED.
Yeah.
ED?
Well,
erectile dysfunction.
Yeah. So I will tell you. I was going to make the joke, but I'm glad you did. I met somebody a couple years ago that was totally different from anybody else that I'd ever dated. And I thought, okay, maybe this is what I need to do. Do something different. Haven't we all done that at some point? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Totally not my type, but nice guy. Let's see where this goes. He couldn't perform and tried to make up for it. Oh, let me buy you this. I'm not interested in that. And it wasn't that he couldn't even perform. Yes, that was a factor. I'm not going to lie. The fact was he fucking lied. He acted like he was healthy when he wasn't. He lied and wasted a lot of my time.
Wow.
And there's Chris with his sound effects.
Chris.
Wow.
And I think that's what happened on a lot of the profiles. There's a lot of lies. They're not upfront. But when you meet us, meaning breast cancer patients, we have nothing to lose, about being upfront. We have nothing to lose at all.
And so would you want the men that you meet, would you want them to be upfront too?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Let me make an informed decision. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm still married. Hey, I got 6 kids. Mm-hmm. Hey, I don't want any more kids. Hey, I have erectile dysfunction, but I'm working on it with my doctor. Hey, I have diabetes, but I'm managing it. Yes.
I think you ladies are looking at this all wrong. I think the men are coming at you like, oh, you run a nonprofit? Oh, how many kids do you have? Oh, grandkids? You have a house? Oh, you have this job forever? Oh, how many masters do you have? Oh, I don't have any of those things, and I'm going to go over here and pretend I don't, like they're intimidated by you on top of the fact that you've had this diagnosis and you're treating them like they can't even match what you've done in your life with what they've done. so they've dropped away or whatever.
Yeah.
There has been some of that.
It has.
It's definitely intimidation. It's definitely intimidation. Some men are intimidated by that, by all the things that you are, your wholeness. They're intimidated by that, and they feel that maybe they can't level up or they can't compete with that.
Yeah, exactly.
I just feel like, don't you feel, Lavetta, like, and you too, don't you feel like at this point in my life, at this stage, in this age, like, I got me. I just need you to add to it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to share it with you.
Exactly.
Right? I want to share it with you. I don't need anything from you other than your presence.
Right. And I'm not trying to find myself or find out who I am.
Right.
I already know.
Right. We fucking
I'm
know
not
who we are.
I'm not trying to be with anyone that's trying to show me how to be who he wants me to be.
Right.
I'm just me.
Right.
So.
Yeah, get in where you fit in.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I guess we're going to be single forever.
I'll be right there with you.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
So,
Girl gang.
so you're saying it's no different. Dating is no different than for you
No.
or women with breast cancer.
No, it's not.
It's no different. It's all the same.
It actually isn't. Yeah, that's just the cherry on top. I'm sorry.
Cheers for that.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about that, though. I feel like if you were attracted, Chris, to both of us sitting here, say you met us both online, you're equally attracted physically by photos, by candor, whatever, and then you meet up with us in person. Again, equal, great energy, really interested. I want to take these two out and see where it goes. And you find out I have breast cancer and don't have nipples, but you find out she doesn't. Does that mean that I'm automatically out of the running based on what you shared? Sounds like it.
Damn.
I mean, keep it real.
I'm gonna keep it 100.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Please.
You're eliminated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it. Look,
Period.
I don't have any wine.
Yeah. Period.
You're
right?
eliminated. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And due to the fact the mentality would be there could be a whole bunch, like you said earlier, anybody, you live, anything could happen to anybody. But you're saying, well, her chances, I'm looking at, well, how's her chances of survival versus her chances? Does she have limitations? Because she doesn't.
She still has a 1 in 8 chance of developing breast cancer.
We don't think that way.
But I appreciate your honesty.
We don't think that
her
way.
1 in 8 chance of being diagnosed is actually higher, way higher. If we do the percentages, I'm just having a moment. If we do the percentages, her chance as someone who's not been affected right now is significantly higher that she will be diagnosed than my percentage of mine coming back. So chew on that shit for a minute.
I'm chewing.
I just thought about that. I'm a 10-year survivor.
Right.
Does that give you any comfort?
You would think that would.
You would think, yeah.
But
it
the
depends.
choice between you and her would still be the same.
It was very
It would
clear.
still be the same.
It was
Still be
very
the same.
clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would still be the same.
Because I'm a man and I like boobs. I like titties. I like nipples.
Do you feel
There
like
it
I'm
is.
less of a woman or
No.
less feminine?
No.
Are you saying that because you're my friend? Because you really can't hurt my feelings.
No,
sis.
I'm-
I don't think I have feelings left at this point. Let me be real.
No, I don't think you're less feminine.
Do you think I am less of a woman?
I don't think you're less of a woman.
I don't know.
But
I can't reconcile
but
that.
my mentality is, and then this is just how I would I would think. She's more, and even me with scars and all this other shit, and,
Right.
and I'm being stupid. My stupid mentality is she's close to perfect.
Mm-hmm.
She's close to the perfect woman physically because she has nipples.
So we're not.
Yeah,
We're
that's-
lacking.
right. And that's just how it is.
Yeah.
And that's the choices that some men would make.
How sad for them to miss out. I'm just going to say this. How sad for them to miss out on people who have been to death's door. People that have gone to the depths of their own soul to find their own self-worth and value and know that they are more than their shell. We are so much more than those who have not been there. And you know this because you have your own scars and your own trauma, physical. And now that you know everything and you've processed your trauma, Can you imagine if I looked at you and said you are less of a man to me because of your scarring?
Exactly.
It's shitty.
It is.
Yeah, it is.
And how sad. And listen, I really say this, like, I don't feel bad for me. Because like Lavetta said, if you can't handle this, you don't deserve this. Because I am more of a woman than half the women I know that have never been affected by breast cancer, simply because of the life lessons, simply because of me having to be stripped of my hair, my breasts, everything that society says makes me feminine and makes me a woman, I have lost. But what I've gained is self-worth, love, understanding, grace, mercy for self.
And you would think that's what a man would be looking for.
You would. That's what they say they want.
Yeah, that's
exactly what they say they want.
I'm looking for this woman that's real, that has herself together. There's no drama, you know, and she know who she is. She's not
never going to
dependent
ask
on
you,
me.
do I look fat in this? Because she don't give a fuck.
You know, but
she's just happy
that's
to be
what
alive.
you hear. This is what men want.
Yeah.
But what I'm hearing today is totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is sad.
It is sad.
It is.
But you're
being,
you've been real about it.
Because I want you, with my scars and all, I'm asking you to accept me for me.
Right.
Scars and all. Why can't I accept you for you? Scars and all.
Right.
Should be. It should be level up. It should be a level.
Yeah.
Most men are just intimidated.
I think it's a complex situation. I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah.
It's really sad. It's sad though.
Do you think it's in every group of men as far as their race, you know, or their background, or,
Great question.
you know, is it like this across the board?
I don't think it. I don't know. I mean, I'm a black man, so I mean, I can only speak from my own perspective.
Yeah, but what about your friends?
About my friends, I think the people that I know, the people that are close to me in my circle, the more knowledge that they would have about the situation, the more accepting that they would be.
Okay.
And even for me, the more knowledge I have about it, the more accepting I would be of it, the more supportive I would be of it. Because a lot of us men, we don't know anything about breast cancer because it doesn't directly affect us. If it's not directly affect us or our family, we don't know nothing about it.
And if you heard about it today and our experiences, what are your thoughts on that now?
Well, obviously knowing Carrie as long as I've had and seeing her go through it. I mean, I'm very sensitive to the topic, to the subject. Yeah. But I wanted to be honest from a man's perspective as to how we look at things and how we visualize things.
That's why I asked you to be here. And I told Chris, my producer, that I said, there's this guy I know, he has a show, he keeps it real, and I think he'd be perfect to be on this. It's interesting, like you say, you watched me go through it. And to me, that's all a blur because I literally was in survival mode. But one story I've shared several times, and I don't think that Chris realizes the connection. I've shared this story. One of the things that we talk about in our What Not to Say to breast cancer patients is, don't tell us to call you if we need something. We're not calling. Right. Just show up and do it.
Right.
And I always share the experience I have of a friend showing up with a lawnmower in their trunk and just showing up and just cutting my grass with no prior knowledge. At least I don't remember it. And that was Chris. Yeah. Do you remember me telling you about that story?
Yeah.
That was this guy.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. He just showed up just like my friend Vern, who knew I was in chemo, and he just had all these cases of bottled water, and he thought, well, she could probably use this. Yeah. And it was the baby bottles, and so I was so weak I could hold the little bottle, and he just showed up with a truck bed full of water. And so thank you for that. So now people can put the voice to that story because I talk about it all the time. I always use it as an example, like just show up. Yeah. Let's wrap with this because we could talk for hours, but I'm getting emotional. Could be the wine. But no, I think it's sobering. Yeah. It's sobering, and I think I know, let me rephrase that. I know that I've buried myself in my work with creating the Care Project, becoming a death doula, all the things that I do, this podcast, because what else am I going to do? Because when I threw my ring my hat into that ring of dating, it was either met with just bullshit, just crappy pool at this age of 51, or people that did stand around long enough to get to know me and see a bit of my life. They said to me, "You're incredible. What you do is amazing. To see and to hear about everything you've been through is so inspiring, but not for me." So you say you want an independent, strong, yet loving woman who gives back to her community, who is financially responsible, who has good credit, who owns her own home, whose kids are grown. I have all of those things, but I don't have nipples or the breasts I was born with, because I was affected by breast cancer. No fault of my own. It just happened. And it happens to 1 in 8 women. So I will say to any man who feels like, I need to know right away, I need to make an informed decision, you might want to check yourself, because 1 in 8 women will be affected with breast cancer, and they have no way of knowing. So are you going to be mad when your girlfriend or your wife is affected? And are you then going to leave because they couldn't forewarn you? Something to think about. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for the invite. Appreciate it.
Thank you for being real.
As always.
It's not the first time you made me cry. That's another show. Lavetta, thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to hear from you lastly, as our resident therapist. What is your therapist mind? Can you do that? Can you disconnect from being the metastatic patient and go into your therapist mind? For me,
Right today, no.
Okay.
No.
Thank you for being
honest. Because
honest.
it's all about us. Those women like me that are stage 4, stage 3 in recovery, remission. No, I cannot today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit numb right now.
Yeah. But you know what? I thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
I really do thank you so much for being honest and just putting it out there and being real about it. It's painful to know, but it's real, but it's painful to know, because we're good women and we deserve good men. And I know there are some out there there are still some good men out there, but if this the way it's going to be, or if this the way it is, we just have to accept it and just wait and see. That's my last words on it. I always say, let's wait and see.
I'm going to go have more wine.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for letting me sit in on this, because I don't know everything about breast cancer. Nobody in my family's ever had that. I do have a coworker whose husband had breast cancer.
Yeah.
And that was very interesting to me, just to know everything that she has gone through as his wife.
Absolutely.
I was just like, wow. Even the doctors, because men getting breast cancer is not.
It's rare, but it happens.
Yes, and his mother had it.
Yeah.
And it didn't get passed on to his sister.
Right.
He got breast cancer, and he's had one breast removed.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah, guys don't think that they have breast tissue, and they do. Yeah. All humans have breast tissue. Yeah. Yes. If you have breast tissue, you can get breast cancer. I said it before, I'll say it again. 1 in 833 men. If you're a man diagnosed with any form of cancer, go to manuptocancer.com. Those are my brothers in arms. They will support you every step of the way. I got nothing left. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to Handle with Care, Cancer and Beyond. Please let us know what you think of the show by leaving a rating and review. And don't forget to share it with a friend. For more information or to connect with Carrie, go to thecareprojectinc.org.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.